We begin a brand new series, Ethics in Books for Children. I thought as I was thinking about being an educator and how important that is to me, I thought I would share with you the kinds of books that have inspired me in teaching and in bringing together the right and wrong of human life. Ethics emphasizing the idea of what's right and what's wrong. So, just to begin, Yertle the Turtle is a story that I have told over and over and over again, no matter where I am, no matter what age level I'm talking to. I often begin by asking the question, would you rather have me give a lecture, 45-minute lecture on pride, or would you rather have me read a 5-minute story called Yertle the Turtle? I suspect that you already know what the answer to that one might be. Yertle the Turtle is one of those great stories that needs to be told and retold. So, ethics. What should I do? What ought I to do? And remember, as soon as you say the word should, you are automatically identifying an ethic. Don't forget that. So, I believe that stories suggest shoulds. Instead of preaching, stories do the breaching. That is, they cross the trespass, they cross the fence of our lives, and we think differently after we've heard stories. And I believe that those stories then impact us in a way that provide for an ethic. So, one of the things I've been thinking about recently is how important implanting stories is for supplanting evil. So the better the story, the better ethical ideal that's coming through that particular story, the better that's going to be against doing what's wrong, doing what's bad. And you're implanting those stories in young minds so that they then begin to think differently about how do they respond and work in the world. And of course, Paul was all over this. In 1 Corinthians chapter 10, he identifies in the first 13 verses thereabouts the idea that all of these historic events, time-space events, not only did they occur, but twice in that passage he says these things were written for your instruction, for your teaching. And so by implanting story, we supplant, put down evil. Let me give a few examples of what I'm suggesting here. Here is the first one. Why the sea is salt. If you haven't read this story, if it's been a long time since you've read this story, make sure to buy the book and read this story aloud to people. The ethics of greed and misuse, and actually answers the question, perhaps in legend, mythological form, why the sea is salt. And then there is the rabbi who seems to disappear during certain periods of time, and one man who follows him in the darkness to find out what he's really doing, what he's really up to. A great story, even higher. And my point, of course, is when you're on your feet, you are actually on your knees. The point of prayer is to actually prompt us toward work, toward doing good. And I do believe that story, even higher, does that for us. And then on the negative side, we see the ethics of covetousness, the thing that we desire, we yearn to have, and once we have it, we misuse it, and we use it for the wrong reasons and place it on a pedestal where it doesn't belong. The idea of the marzipan moon is another book, another story I highly recommend in its search for and emphasis on ethics. And then there is one that I've told and retold over and over and over again, especially in junior and senior high, and that is the ethics of power from the Sword of Damocles. If you don't know that story, go to William Bennett's book, The Book of Virtues. Find it there. You can find it online. Great story that emphasizes, do I really want the power that I see others have? And so, we emphasize that stories suggest a should and ought to, driving us to do what's right or wrong.